We are joined right now by two women taking on the question, what does it mean to be Black and alive right now? Co-editors of the new book, Black Futures, New York Times writer Jenna Worthham, and writer and art curator Kimberly Drew. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, of course.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. We're so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you because this is a big question, a weighted question, but something that needs to be answered, especially at a time like right now. So, Jenna, let's start with you. Can you answer that question for me? In your mind, based off of your experiences, what does it mean to be Black and alive right now?
Absolutely. I mean, it means to contain so many multitudes. It means to be sitting at the intersection of so many incredible experiences. It means to be experiencing, just an abundance of Black creativity, which we're trying to capture in this book. It also means to be grappling with a lot of heavy questions that those who came before us have been thinking about, and those who came after us will be thinking about. And that's one of the reasons we put together this anthology, is because we wanted to kind of create a time capsule of what our generation was dealing with in terms of the cultural, sociological, and big ecological questions of our time.
Right. And what a tapestry it is, because you're not only reflecting on the past, you're looking at the future, figuring out how all of those things inform where we are currently. It's a lot. And Kimberly, being the art curator here, you were tasked with trying to bring all of those things to life in a visual way. So how would you describe this visual anthology? I think I saw it somewhere referred to as like a visual mixtape, which I thought was cool.
I love any and all mixtape connections and correlations. I think I like it so much because a mixtape is something that we all can understand. It's something that we feel very comfortable making and receiving, unless maybe you're making it for a crush, then there's higher pressure. But for us, we really wanted to make a book and a tribute to Black culture that felt really approachable, really democratic, and like something that people felt comfortable owning and reading and sharing in the ways that we might feel about other things that aren't usually traditionally held in institutions or in silos in the ways that sometimes art can be.
Yeah, I have, in your oh, sorry. I just had a question, because in your curation process of stories and essays and photographs and poems to add to the book, what did you uncover about Black identity that you didn't realize was in the fabric? And I ask that as somebody who is white and always trying to learn more about Black culture myself, but for those who are Black and may not have uncovered some things along the way, what do you hope people learn? Kimberly?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's such an excellent question, and one that I think we've been teasing through quite a bit in this book process, because I think for both of us, this was such an incredible learning process. There were so many folks, across the globe, because the book is very global, that we either met through this process of making the book or found, new ways that they wanted to communicate through making this book and commissioning original artwork and essays from folks. I think for us, it's been such an incredible learning experience. And I think everyone, all of the audience that this book might have, if we're so lucky, definitely is in a position to learn quite a bit in a very short amount of time.
And Jenna, when did you guys start working on this book, and how did the events of 2020 inform the themes in this book?
So Kimberly and I actually met through, a Twitter DM exchange in 2015, as all great partnerships come together these days through social media. And, I reached out. I was working as a tech reporter at the time, and I just wanted to, get my arms around what I felt was happening in Black creativity and Black culture. And Kimberly, being an art curator, was running an incredible Tumblr called Black Contemporary Art that was looking at Black artists that were working during that time. And so reached out, we had lunch, we started ideating, sending each other screenshots of works we liked, writers we liked, and started really the rough bones of what would become the book that we have in our hands today. So that's really the origin story for us.
I'm incredibly intrigued. I have no idea what is in this book. We just showed the cover, which is super cool. And to celebrate the launch of this book, Brooklyn Academy of Music and Greenlight Bookstore, they're going to be hosting an event, a live stream conversation going down on December 7th. Kimberly, can you tell me a little bit about this event and what folks are going to hear?
I cannot wait for this event. We're going to be joined by our siblings, our kindreds, activist Raquel Willis and artist Naima Green for a really integrative conversation about images and visibility and how that relates to Black culture, how that relates to all of our practices as creatives. And I really am so excited and so honored to be hosted by both BAM and Greenlight, who we love as institutions very much.
Yeah, Kimberly, what is the big theme, before we let you go, that you want people to take away from this book as we move forward and look beyond to 2020?
Ooh, that is my favorite question. I hope that everyone learns and understands that there's an incredible possibility when we start to be more curious about each other. I think for this book, we were really interested in responding to this moment of incredible cultural flourishing from the Black community. And I really hope that this encourages so many others just to have an imagination, a curiosity about what might be going on. And also to understand that their own individual contributions are something that's worth being, celebrated, worth being recorded, worth being shared. Because I think in this moment of digital connectivity, we think that everything is so fleeting. And what would it mean to sit with those things? What would it mean to archive those things, to understand that our cultural contributions are important, even if mainstream media might not say so?
Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest theme. Like Dan said, the biggest step is asking that question and not being afraid to opening that book. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. Amazing effort. And thank you so much for bringing these themes to the forefront of the conversation. Of course, to pick up one of those tickets, you can head to www.bam.org, and also to pick up a book if you're interested. Thank you so much again, ladies.